In a certain kingdom, matchmakers flocked to Yin Mansion, eager to present their clients' portraits for a chance to pair them with General Yin. However, the guard informed them that the general was out. It was known that there were two wealthy and famous estates in the city, Yin Mansion and Lord Lian's mansion. Yin Mansion was home to the handsome and talented General Yin, while Lord Lian's mansion housed a strong-willed daughter. At the same time, a man was seen tormenting a woman in the bustling crowd, forcing her into marriage and threatening her life. Suddenly, Lady Ye Rong-er, the only daughter of Lord Lian, stepped in to stop him. Having lost her parents at a young age, she had grown into a headstrong and independent woman. With courage, she struck back at the man, earning cheers from the onlookers. Soon after, the man's henchmen arrived to attack her, but luckily, a man who had been watching her stepped in and managed to defeat them. After that, they got to know each other as student and teacher. Lady Rong-er treated her male student to some drinks as a thank you for his help. Back at Lord Lian's place, Lady Rong-er was once again pressured by Butler Liu, the house manager, to get married. They had plans to match her with Jia Yukai, a guy who ranked third in this year's imperial exam. To avoid the marriage, Lady Rong-er decided to visit a brothel, hoping to ruin her reputation so no man would want to marry her. She thought she'd find a bunch of guys there, but to her surprise, the place was empty. It turned out it had been cleared out on purpose for someone special who was expected to arrive that day. She walked into a room and accidentally caught a glimpse of someone showering. For a moment, she was mesmerized, taking in the sight of Wan Yi and the handsome silhouette of the man. Realizing he was being watched, Rong-er shouted. Seizing the moment, she asked the man, who turned out to be General Yin Sishen, for help in pretending to be her lover to get rid of Jia Yukai, the man she was supposed to marry. Unaware of the man's true identity, Lady Rong-er intentionally arranged to meet at a brothel, and in front of Jia Yukai, they acted like a couple madly in love. Unable to handle the scene, Jia Yukai decided to call off the engagement and stormed out. Later, at Lord Lian's residence, a messenger from the emperor arrived with a decree stating that Lady Rong-er would be betrothed to the nobleman from Jing'an, aka General Yin Sishen. Rong-er reluctantly accepted the emperor's decree, but deep down, she couldn't come to terms with the idea of marrying someone she had never even met. She thought about escaping, but her home was under tight surveillance by guards. The wedding day arrived, and at the Yin residence, they held several ceremonial events. Curious about General Yin's face, Lady Rong-er tried to lift her veil, but was constantly stopped. After the ceremony, her curiosity piqued, and she quietly snuck into the general's room, only to find him with another woman. Lady Rong-er was against this marriage, especially after witnessing the general's bad behavior with her assistant, Miss Ling. They left the capital for the southern country, specifically Pingyang, as no one dared to oppose the emperor's marriage arrangements. In Pingyang, under a new identity as Wen Renjing, Lady Rong-er planned to set up her own divorce office to handle her separation. 3 months after Lady Rong-er's escape, the general finally tracked her down. A man who had once helped her also made his way to Pingyang, where he met the general at a restaurant. The general asked his deputy to gather information about the Chonglu organization, which was notorious for abducting women to turn them into spies targeting ministers in the palace, infiltrating both the southern and northern kingdoms. His mission in Pingyang was to investigate this organization. On the same day at the same restaurant, Lady Rong-er was disguised as an escort to trap an old man named Mr. Ma. At that moment, his legitimate wife caught him cheating, but it turned out that this whole scenario was orchestrated by Lady Rong-er and Mrs. Ma. In the city of Pingyang, Lady Rong-er is known by the name Wen Renjing. She runs a divorce office called Bickering House, where she tirelessly encourages women in Pingyang to become independent and improve themselves to build their careers. One day, Mrs. Ma dragged her husband in front of a crowd, causing quite a scene. The commotion was interrupted by Head Liu, a skilled matchmaker from Shuyin Pavilion, who became suspicious of the woman. Head Liu incited the crowd to unveil her face, while Mrs. Ma tried to stop him. Seizing the moment, Ren Jing made a run for it, looking for a place to hide. She slipped into another room, and, as she was about to change her clothes, she unexpectedly found a man inside is someone who had helped her back in the capital. Wen Ren Jing was a bit shocked and happy to see him again, but since she was wearing a face cover, he didn't recognize her and accused her of being a fraud, kicking her out. On the other hand, Liu and his crew kept searching for Wen Ren Jing, barging into every room they could find. One guy, not happy about his desk being stomped on, was about to kick them out, but when his face covering slipped off, he ended up helping Wen Ren Jing hide from Liu. They were so close that Ren Jing couldn't help but be mesmerized by the guy's good looks. Liu couldn't find Wen Ren Jing, so he and his goons eventually left. Not one to give up easily, Liu stirred up trouble outside Bicking's house, trying to rally the crowd to kick out the siblings, Wen Ren Jing and Ling. Liu claimed their boss, Mr. Lu Ting Xiao, was the best matchmaker in the capital, but no one had ever seen him. He accused the two of scamming people and then shouted for them to leave Pingyang. In the midst of all the chaos, a handsome guy shows up claiming to be Master Lu Ting Xiao, the top matchmaker from the capital. Ren Jing, she looks super panicked, worried that his scam might get exposed, but she's also suspicious of the guy's identity. Meanwhile, in a house, a man is selling his own girlfriend, Wan Yi, to Master Wang Yiji to pay off his gambling debts. Wan Yi, totally blindsided by Bai Jia's betrayal, fights back and is forced to drink a love poison, a toxic brew that makes her slowly die when her think of her beloved. Later, when she's woken up for a meal, Wan Yi kicks him and makes a run for it. She then encounters the kind-hearted philanthropist Hong, who's rich and loves helping the less fortunate. He ends up buying Wan Yi for any price and takes her to live in his home. At Bicking's place, because of threats of eviction and being told the truth about things, the fake Mr. Liu made Wen Ren Jing clean the house, which really ticked him off. The next day, Ren Jing just wanted to take a break, but Mr. Liu kicked her out of the room, saying he wanted to take a nap. Ren Jing, still annoyed, refused to leave, and they ended up arguing over the bed. On the flip side, Ren Jing's male student is head over heels, daydreaming about sweet moments with her. Meanwhile, at Dermawan Hong's place, Mr. Hong calls in Miss Wan Yi to meet someone who turns out to be one of Wang Yizhi's goons, involved in the kidnapping of city girls by the Chonglu organization. Bai Jia, who loves to gamble, got kicked out for being broke. At the same time, he spotted Wan Yi down below, surrounded by a group of people. He quietly followed them and saw some women being held captive by those guys, who turned out to be part of the Chonglu organization. Meanwhile, at a restaurant, Mr. Song was hosting a gathering with matchmakers to review their performance over the past year. Soon after, his handsome student, Wen Ren Jing, arrived. Mr. Song introduced him as the new head of the Pingyang City Matchmaker Association, Fang. Ren Jing was thrilled to see him again, but Mr. Liu, who was pretending to be someone else, immediately felt jealous and threatened. After the feast, Fang decided to take Wen Ren Jing to the Baihua brothel to dig into the case about the young master Hong Zhang, the son of the wealthy Hong, who was keen on marrying a poor woman named Chu Liuyun in town. When they arrived, they found Hong Zhang causing a scene while drunk, approaching a dancer named Qin Yi and starting to harass her, trying to strip her in front of everyone. Ren Jing, witnessing this, was furious and thought that Hong Zhang had crossed the line, so he threw a glass at the jerk's head. The guy fainted after realizing he couldn't remember anything about the two of them. He ended up lying, claiming to be a matchmaker who had helped him. Eventually, they found out that Hong Zhang wanted to marry a woman named Chu Luyun, just to get his father's inheritance. He then went to Chu Luyun's place and met her. She mentioned that she was aware of Hong Zhang's bad character, but felt she had no choice. She was willing to marry a rich man to help her sick mother. Chairman Fang, noticing something was off, quickly dragged Ren Jing away from there. Meanwhile, a fake Mr. Liu was holding Bai Jia hostage, asking where Wan Yi was, to which Bai Jia replied that he had sold the woman. Furious at this news, The fake Mr. Liu asked who he sold her to, but then an unexpected attack came out of nowhere, killing Bai Jia. In his last moments, he revealed it was the Chonglu organization. On the flip side, Chairman Fang realized that the woman they encountered was actually a fake Chu Liu Yun. He quietly kept an eye on her. They noticed the fake Miss Q threatening a sick woman, and Ren Jing impulsively snapped a close-up of the real Miss Q from the dressing room where Chairman Fang was. They were both taken aback by the encounter. They continued to spy on her and saw the woman meeting someone who called her Miss Lan Kuei. Chairman Fang decided to take action, and Ren Jing quickly freed the real Q Liu Yun, but she ended up getting caught. Luckily, Miss Q got some help, and in the end, they managed to save her and capture Nona Lan Kuei the next day while she was out for a walk. Ren Jing accidentally ran into the guy who almost caught her yesterday. She headed into the men's bath, but the guard stopped her since Ren Jing is a woman. Inside, Chief Fang was taking a bath with his former deputy, discussing how they had successfully detained Nona Lan Kuei. Soon after, Ren Jing disguised herself as a man and slipped in. There, she bumped into a chubby guy who insisted she get him a new towel. When she didn't respond, he yanked off her hood, revealing she was a woman. The guy screamed, causing chaos as everyone panicked and ran. Fang quickly pulled her aside to hide while the men searching for the woman were redirected by Chief Fang. Ren Jing was drying her clothes when she asked why Mr. Fang was there and why he had so many scars. But Chairman Fang dodged the question, asking if Ren Jing was sure there were scars on the thigh of that masked guy, the cat. Fang couldn't take it anymore and quickly left to calm his nerves. Later, while Ren Jing and Mr. Liu were spending time together, Chairman Fang approached them. Ren Jing felt happy to see her student, but Mr. Liu, the fake one, wasn't thrilled about their closeness and tried to kick Chairman Fang out. However, Chairman Fang presented proof of ownership for the Bickering house, claiming he wasn't just visiting, but returning home. Ren Jing was impressed by her student, but Mr. Liu was skeptical about the authenticity of the land deed and refused to let Chairman Fang stay at the house. Ren Jing took advantage of the situation and suggested a drinking competition to decide the matter. They both ended up losing as they got so drunk they passed out. Ren Jing then tried to get them inside, but while she was taking off her dirty clothes, she got caught between the two of them. At the same time, Head Liu was spying on Ren Jing's house with a telescope and mistakenly thought he saw something scandalous. Ren Jing was just swapping out the dirty outer clothes of Chief Fang and Mr. Liu, which got stained from drinking. While handling the soiled clothes, she stumbled upon a jade emblem. It turned out that the jade belonged to a spy network her late father had established, which was quite influential. Rumor has it that the current leader of this spy network is a guy named Qin Zhao, who's not only skilled in martial arts but also a master of disguise. She mistakenly thought Mr. Liu was actually Qin Zhao and was impressed by his ability to blend in. This made her think of Lan Kuei, a spy from the Chonglu organization who was also really good at disguises. As they discussed the Chonglu organization, Mr. Liu finally got a lead on Wan Yi's whereabouts. Ren Jing, along with her companion, went to see Miss Lan Kuei to ask about the whereabouts of Wan Yi and the other girls. Miss Lan Kuei suggested they look for a widow named Liu Chun and promised to share information about the girls afterward. Meanwhile, Ren Jing and Mr. Liu visited Miss Q Liu Yun, who handed over the widow's bag. That night, they stayed at the Xilai Inn, where they booked 2 rooms, but the attendant informed them there was only 1 room left. As they were about to leave, they noticed 2 others had also reserved 2 rooms, but the attendant repeated that only 1 was available. Ren Jing was about to get upset, but Mr. Liu stopped her. He then checked the contents of the bag they received, and when Ren Jing curiously picked up a root, it suddenly wrapped around her hand. Mr. Liu tried to help, but his hand got caught too, and despite their various attempts, the root wouldn't budge. Stuck in those pesky vines, the 2 of them decided to step outside and stargaze, enjoying each other's company. But when they tried to head back, they found themselves surrounded by some folks from the Chonglu Mr. Liu organization. They were trying to protect one Ren Jing when, just in the nick of time, Chief Fang showed up to lend a hand. Unfortunately, things took a dark turn as they all suddenly committed suicide, leaving no clues about the attack's motive. Back at the inn, Chief Fang noticed something odd and asked why they were still holding hands. Ren Jing clarified that they weren't holding hands. They were just stuck in those weird vines. Realizing this, Chief Fang jumped in to help free them, but instead, he got tangled up too. With no chance of sleeping in that mess, they stayed up all night playing games and sipping on liquor. In her tipsy state, Ren Jing imagined Chief Fang and the fake Mr. Liu as her husbands, dreaming of spending her life with those two handsome guys. After getting their hands tangled up, the three of them went to see Mr. Song, the matchmaker who had good connections with the local government, to find out about the widow, the mother of Miss Lan Kuei. After waiting a bit, they finally got some news about the widow Liu Chun. They returned to inform Miss Lan Kuei and Ren Jing that Liu Chun had passed away, reportedly by suicide. Lan Kuei was completely shocked and heartbroken, realizing that the bond they once had was now broken. She ran off, but since they were still stuck, the three of them couldn't do anything to stop her. Just when things were still unresolved, two troublemakers, Head Lu and Zheng, showed up again, mocking and insulting Ren Jing, Chairman Fang, and Mr. Liu. As they tried to pull free from the vines, they suddenly broke loose. Ren Jing and Chairman Fang searched for Miss Lan Kuei, asking everyone they encountered along the way. They asked their two detectives to check out an empty house rumored to be where Miss Lan Kuei was hiding. Once inside, the door slammed shut behind them, revealing it was a trap. They tried to escape, but ended up falling and getting stuck in a metal cage. As the water level rose, they fought to stay afloat, and seeing that one Ren Jing couldn't swim, Leader Fang made the ultimate sacrifice to save him. Later, the folks from the Chonglu organization showed up at the spot, but found nothing. Turns out, they were there to keep an eye on Wen Ren Jing. At that moment, Wen Ren Jing and Chairman Fang were safe. After changing clothes, Ren Jing met up with Chairman Fang, and feeling worried, hugged him right in front of Mr. Liu. Mr. Liu watched them closely, feeling a surge of jealousy as they were so close. That night, during the matchmaking banquet, the city governor and Mr. Song were set to evaluate their performances. One Ren Jing hoped to be chosen as one of the top matchmakers, so she could handle her divorce from General Yin herself. Zheng then reported Boqing's infidelity to the city governor and Mr. Song, but Ren Jing remembered it and pretended to faint. Mr. Liu carried her, and to protect their reputation, he quickly claimed that he was Wen Ren Jing's husband and that Chairman Fang was his brother-in-law. They didn't buy the fake confession from Mr. Liu unless they could confirm whether they were actually a couple or not. Realizing they were being watched, they decided to put on a show to trick the two troublemakers. Meanwhile, Chief Fang was feeling jealous, suspecting that Mr. Liu's fake persona was up to something strange. Then, Commander Feng came in with the news that Deputy General Wang had been murdered by someone sent by Wang Yiji. The head of the Chonglu organization was shocked to hear this and went to check it out himself. Commander Feng explained that Deputy General Wang was killed in a brutal way, and before he died, a badge was forcefully shoved down his throat. The next day, Wang Yiji approached Qin Yi and said that if she wanted to escape from the Chonglu organization, she needed to make Wen Renjing drink the love poison. According to the info from Chonglu, women were kidnapped, turned into assassins, and married off to high-ranking officials from the northern country, all while being poisoned with love poison to prevent them from meeting their true loves. Here, Miss Twin Yi was threatened. If she and her boyfriend, Mr. Xue, wanted to be freed, she had to make Wen Renjing her replacement. To deliver the good news, Miss Twin Yi pretended and offered a drink mixed with love poison. Without any strange thoughts, she drank it. To test Wen Renjing's feelings, Chief Fang pretended to get close to her, which was seen from a distance by the furious fake Mr. Liu. Chief Fang then told the fake Mr. Liu that his master didn't really understand her own feelings. In reality, Wen Renjing didn't like him, but had feelings for Mr. Liu. The next morning, she kept recalling the events from the previous evening when Mr. Liu approached her, and they spent time together. When she almost fell, Mr. Liu quickly caught her, and in that moment, they both felt the spark, and realized their feelings for each other. At Hong's place, things got tense after Wang Yizhi killed the representative of the northern general. Hong was feeling anxious and threatened, worried that his identity might link him to the Chonglu organization. So he ordered his people to move the girls out of the city by 11 p.m. tonight. One night, after successfully passing through the gate by showing the permit from the governor, they were suddenly confronted by a fake Lord Liu. Just as they were about to fight back, palace guards surrounded them, leaving them cornered and unable to resist. Hong's henchman tried to escape, but was abruptly stopped by Chief Fang, who killed him in a manner strikingly similar to how General Wang's deputy was taken out. In an instant, he was dead, and the fake Lord Liu finally managed to find Wan Yi. While spending time together that night, just as the fake Lord Liu was about to reveal his true identity, Wen Renjing suddenly fainted and didn't regain consciousness. All the city doctors examined him, but none could figure out what was wrong. It wasn't until Miss Wan Yi arrived and realized that Wen Renjing had been poisoned with love poison. Unable to bear seeing him suffer, the fake Lord Liu decided to embark on a long journey to find the divine Dr. Yue in the Valley of Medicine. Upon reaching the valley, he was told that if he could meet certain conditions, the doctor would agree to treat Wen Renjing. The catch: the fake Lord Liu had to try out various poisons that the doctor had created. Mr. Liu risked his life, and in the end, the fake Mr. Liu fainted, unconscious and in a dying state. He asked the healer to go to Pingyang City to treat Wen Renjing. Meanwhile, in a different location, after discovering that the love poison came from the Chonglu organization, Chief Fang confronted Wang Yizhi in an abandoned house, pointing his sword at him. Fang gave him a 3-day deadline. If the antidote didn't arrive by then, he threatened to kill him. Back at Boking's house, they finally met the healer, Yue. They inquired about the antidote for the love poison, but the healer explained that they needed to find a ginseng that was tens of thousands of years old and a plant that could erase feelings. However, both items were incredibly hard to find. The feeling-erasing plant was a legendary poison tree from the Western lands, and usually, no one could leave that poison forest alive. The forest was known to be terrifying and dangerous. Fang visited Wang Yizhi, and the leader was shocked to find General Feng badly injured and that Wang Yizhi had managed to escape. It turned out that the true identity of the leader, Fang, was General Lin Shi from the northern country, who had come to Pingyang to capture the Chonglu organization during the Lantern Festival. Fang took Wen Renjing on a tour, and soon after, she mistook the person in the mask for Master Liu, which turned out to be correct. After days of Master Liu's disappearance, everyone at Boking was too scared to explain things to Wen Renjing. She took Master Liu outside to talk and hugged him, asking him not to leave her again in the morning. One morning, Miss Ling accidentally discovered a ginseng that was thousands of years old, which had been given by head Liu. Despite often causing trouble and not liking Wen Renji, head Liu secretly loved Miss Ling. Meanwhile, the fake Master Liu and Wen Renjing were enjoying their time together, and without hesitation, Renjing confidently proposed to the fake Master Liu. In a different place, Wang Yizhi got the news that General Lin Shi had closed the city gates, and no one was allowed to leave without a token. He felt suspicious about the appearance of General Yin in Pingyang, as his spies mentioned rumors of a dark connection between this general and Wen Renjing. Realizing this, he ordered his men to capture Renjing immediately. He asked Miss Ling, who informed him that Renjing was out in the forest searching for wild ginseng. This made him panic and feel frustrated. Soon after, Fang Ke arrived and saw Mr. Liu in a hurry. He asked Miss Ling, who confirmed that Renjing had gone out alone to look for ginseng. Fang Ke shared in the frustration and panic. Suddenly, someone approached Wang Yizhi, insisting he come along. At the same time, Mr. Liu told him to stop, but the person quickly turned and threatened him. Not wanting to put Mr. Liu in danger, she jumped off the cliff. Mr. Liu followed suit and soon realized he was unconscious. She tried to wake him up, feeling scared, and eventually, Renjing broke down in tears. Shortly after, Mr. Liu regained consciousness, and the moment was filled with emotion. They were caught up in the atmosphere, and returned home to report to Mr. Liu that the gatekeeper said Chairman Fang had ridden off westward. Upon hearing this, they realized Chairman Fang was heading to the poisonous forest in the western country to find a pain-relieving plant, unable to bear seeing Wen Renjing suffer. So, he asked the healer for a way to transfer Wen Renjing's pain to himself. The healer kept suggesting this soul-reviving powder that could shift the love poison to her lover's body, but he warned him that using it would put his life at risk, since he had already consumed a lot of poison. Despite the dangers, he insisted that the healer keep this a secret from Wen Renji before using the paralyzing powder. He was worried that his time was running out. Mr. Liu suggested staying by Wen Renjing's side while she was sick, and he started sharing his true identity. Turns out, Mr. Liu was a general who had returned victorious from war. He told the emperor about his intention to marry Wen Renjing, also known as Lady Rong-er. During the wedding, the general felt so scared that it might all be a dream. When Lady Rong-er ran away, he regretted rushing into the marriage, realizing he shouldn't have pressured her into it. General Yin genuinely loved Lady Rong-er and just wanted her to be happy, even if it meant sacrificing his own life for hers. On the flip side, he's dealing with the frustration of his current situation, where General Lin Si from the north wants him dead, and General Yin Si Shun from the south is constantly patrolling day and night to catch him. Then, he gets word that General Lin Si is seriously injured. Hearing this, he plans to launch an attack from a different location, even though he's in bad shape. He wants to keep up appearances in front of the lady, so he asks for some cake. While heading home alone and feeling uneasy, she suddenly gets kidnapped by Wang Yizhi's men. As his condition worsens, General Yin comes to his aid. Long story short, they all end up being held hostage. He then informs Wen Renji that the true identity of Master Liu is actually General Yin. Surprised by this revelation, General Yin tries to explain that he wanted to tell him from the start, but never had the chance. His main reason for coming to Pingyang was to find her. Even though she's still shocked by the news, Renjing pretends to have known all along. He threatens to kill Wen Renjing if he doesn't hand over a token to leave the city, injuring her neck in the process. This infuriates General Yin, causing him to break free from his restraints and fight back. Not long after, General Lin Si showed up with the two of them to take on Wang Yizhi. However, Wang Yizhi underestimated them because he knew that General Yin was seriously ill and that General Lin Si had just come back from a forest filled with deadly poisons. But those two generals weren't fazed at all. They were seasoned warriors and charged at the leader of the Chonglu organization with the intent to kill. Even after taking multiple hits, they didn't back down and kept launching counterattacks until they finally gained the upper hand and took down Wang Yizhi. After the fight, General Lin Si handed over a numbing herb, which knocked him out at Boking's place. He was shocked that the herb worked, especially after hearing about the lethal poisons in that area. There were way more than just a few in that dangerous forest. Realizing that Chief Fang had risked his life for her, she knelt before the healer, pleading to save Chief Fang's life. After days of caring for the two generals, even getting sick himself, his efforts paid off as both generals eventually regained consciousness. But as soon as they woke up, it was like a cat-and-mouse game. They were still bickering away. After checking them out, the healer said that the poison in both of their bodies was gone. Once fully recovered, General Yin met up and revealed that it was the emperor who ordered him to capture General Lin Si from the northern country. This happened during a dinner at Renjing's place, which had been secretly watched by spies from both nations. It turned out that the king of the northern country had instructed them to help General Yin kill General Lin Si. In other words, the southern emperor wanted General Yin to catch General Lin Si, while the northern king wanted General Lin to take out General Yin. They all ended up drinking together and got pretty drunk. Later, when General Lin Si woke up and was about to attack General Yin, he managed to hold back, revealing his true nature. Renjing suddenly woke up and realized that the leader Fang he had known was actually General Lin Si from the north. He was shocked to find out that someone he considered family had such a dark side. As they fought, another general ran towards the mountain behind, hoping that General Lin Si would change his mind. while Ren Jing tried to convince him that they were all family. Hearing that, General Lin couldn't help but laugh. It turned out that the person he was dealing with, Wen Ren Jing, was actually Lady Wrong-Er. He then declared that they could never be family because he was the one who killed Lady Wrong-Er's father. Her anger boiled over, and in a fit of rage, Lady Wrong-Er stabbed General Lin, causing him to fall off the cliff, overwhelmed with guilt, anger, and helplessness. She cried as she reminisced about the sweet moments they shared. However, beneath the cliff, General Lin was still alive, and the sword stab was fake. This was all part of their plan, with the help of a healer and Miss Ling meticulously set up to fool the spies watching them. In exchange, General Yin had given the real defense map of the southern country to General Lin Si at Lady Boking's house. Lady Wrong-Er was constantly worried about General Lin Si, and General Yin approached her, handing over one of General Lin Si's belongings that he might have left behind, hoping he was safe and back in his homeland. Once all the issues were sorted out, they quickly headed back to the capital to deal with the defense map. When they arrived, Lady Wrong-Er met General Yin's parents and felt nervous while serving tea. In her anxiety, she accidentally spilled it, feeling flustered and out of her element. This time, Lady Wrong-Er was getting married again, and it was going to be a mutual decision, unlike the last time when it was forced.